Hello and welcome to Hearts of Iron 4. So, I just got this game because it just came out. And I'm going to be playing it. It's single player tutorial. Here we are. I should have just clicked this first. Alright. I usually like to learn from playing, but in this case, I do not know what they've changed. Okay, so welcome to the tutorial. You will be taking charge of Italy during the period leading up to the war. Read the tooltip and will help you understand things as you play, so I'd recommend that you make good use. So that's the province, move troops, yeah, I know that. Alright. And start by dealing with the alerts at the top of the screen. Alright. Read me the beginning guide. I could. What's the wiki have to say? The wiki is not showing up right now. Okay, so let's see here. Instructions not followed. So starting the game. Interface for the blah blah blah. Random stuff. So starting the game. When the game starts, the menu, the good button closes obviously, and the credits credit. Yeah, multiplayer. I know what multiplayer is. So it's an alternate version of the World War. It starts with fewer alliances, wars to start. 1936, in place of the beginning of the organization. Economy and war. Opening the factories. 1930 begins December 1st. Germany's coalition, and the scenario is more building, supplying, and leading. And their forces choosing a nation. And Japan, like other countries. Okay, so the interface. Blah blah blah. So national. A measure of war resolves of the country. A country with low national unity will surrender more quickly than one with high national unity, and determine that can be assigned but blah blah scenario. So this is basically the political leader. It can change in trade, conscription law, and all that stuff. 2 points per day. I guess people don't get manpower is the current available manpower. This affects the factors primarily. Conscription levels, yes, I agree. Conscription 3 separate numbers listed by the naval docks, blah blah. We will deal with them. Rose, Army. Where's this? What's over here? Okay. As for units fight, or in the case of armies exercise, they gain experience. Okay, so that's the reason why you want to do those drills. So army experience units, edit, blah blah, navy and air experience are used for modifications and convoys, the number of transports available, convoys. Each trade, strategic resource will require those units, and basically allocate transport students and some primary map mode. So it comprises of 3 different levels that will be seen during the majority of this game. Alright, so nations represent the local borders and the score of diplomacy. Nations have names. Okay, yeah, obviously. Within a nation are one or more possible commercial states, factories, infrastructure, and you can build using civilian factory and develop level of the state. Each state is limited to how many improvements it can have. States are also have names. Within each state, provinces interact, blah blah. You get land troops, and that generally aid those units, i.e. forts and yes. Provinces do not have names, and their details are visible in the bottom. Wait, what? Do not have names? I thought they did. Oh, I guess they don't. Alright, there are three other map modes that you will use in the region. And okay, so naval map nodes, sea regions which you can adjacent and give orders to Navy and the Independence and sea. Okay, the air map mode. So overlays the land and sea. Map modes, air bases are assigned operational concerns, and it just gives the missions basically, and also the air bases form strategic, all the names. Okay. And the overlay supply mode is divided into supply areas for the purpose of this game, with the programming state various fixed in extent determined by the occupation of the provinces that comprise the region. They do not have names. All three of these regions use green, yellow, blue, blah blah borders, sea, land. Okay. World tensions. To the upper right corner, what is that, of the screen, is a glowing circle with a percentage below it. Yes, here. Okay, it indicates the level of world tension. This percentage is the measure of how much tension currently exists in the world. Some diplomats and military actions, especially democratic or neutral states, require world tension to reach a specific level. World tension increased by historical events and declarations of war on other hostile. Okay. To the far left of the screen is the national flag. The national flag, and this will include a portrait of the national leader, political supports, and parties. Some active variables and factors for the nation, and three roles that can be affected by spending political power. So the player will be prompted to choose a national focus for the country if none is active. It takes 70 days to complete a national focus and costs one political power point per day. Dang, you can't really declare war on them. That's hard. Alright, so that's why I was losing those when I was trying that. Okay, so national focus tree is similar to research tech tree in other games, except that it is about the country's choice of direction. It may choose for the moment to focus on industry and growth, or in the case of Germany, in most games, push for expansion of borders at expanding its borders at the expense of its neighbors. Some national focus choices are mutually exclusive. For example, Soviet Union cannot be friends with both China and Japan. Really? I didn't know that. Okay, this menu allows political power to be spent to change the governmental law or hire political, military, and industrial advisors. Most changes will cost a minimum of 150 political power, and very powerful advisor will cost 250 kilogram. Okay, so conscription laws affect how much men die. Trade laws affects how much research points, factories, construction, and how many resources are available to be traded. Economic law affects how many factories are dedicated to the consumer goods manufacturing. There is space for 3 advisors in the law. A tank designer, ship designer, aircraft designer, and material designer can be added to bonuses to either production or the relevant weapon system, or affecting industry concerned and a theorist can also be added to improve certain types of research. So a chief of army, a chief of navy, and a chief of force can be added to improve research or combat skills in their respective services. Three other members of the high command may be hired. Okay, so then there's research. The gray button at the top of the screen marked the blah blah. Okay, so I think this is pretty much self-explanatory. But the pursuit of blah blah, and there's categories. Each nation has historical level. All the research trees are marked and along the historical timeline. Infantry researches better infantry weapons, better support. Armor researched better armor, researching artillery and anti-tank for artillery. Land artillery, most of the great powers will start with the initial land doctrine. This may be changed, but all land artillery paths are mutually exclusive, and each land artillery chosen a major combat bonus, so I should get those first, basically. As submarines and convoys, some of the great powers will start with the initial naval doctrine. So actually, this would be like for Japan and the researching. Alright, and what? Did it say twice? Oh, naval doctrine. So some people start with air, some people. So it's always you're either focusing on one of the three: land, air, or sea. And industry, of course, does that. Engineering does electricity engineering. Alright. So diplomacy. The gray button with the hand ready to be shaked, or that like that, opens your diplomacy menu. So it's right here. Here are the list of nations and the blah blah. Portrait, it's pretty self-explanatory, and it tells you how good you are with them. So trade. This is one thing I need to understand. Okay, so the gray button with the box and the curved exchange arrow. This button. Okay, opens your trade menu. You'll see a number of tabs and columns listing the major resources available, what you require, and possible trade partners. There are 6 major resources: oil, tungsten. These are used to help in the construction tanks, battleships, planes, and so forth. Each new production line of major weapon systems will require a certain amount of resources. Though you can build these units without necessary resources. How does that work? You get to build a tank without metal? Your production will be slower and less efficient. Researchers can be found in certain locations on the map and are certainly not evenly distributed. You will also almost always have to trade for what you need. Alright, to trade for resources, click on the name of the country and move the slider to determine how much you are trading for. Resources are traded for in units of 4. Each trade, unless conducted over land, requires a minimum of 2 convoy vessels, plus 1 for every additional 4 units of resources. Okay. So every 4 units of resources will be imported and also cost you a civilian factory. With that production power, it's going to be going to the nations and trading with. Alright. Hello again, and welcome back to this. I had to do something quick. Alright, so I was to trade every 4 units of resources you import, and basically this is just trade. So with production, and so exports will make your industry stronger if you pull factory power into other nations, but a lot of imports will make you weaker. Really? but you need to import resources to keep war machines going. Alright, then there's the construction. It's a construction tab. So this is where you assign factories to be built in infrastructure, defense, and so on. Civilian factories allow improvement of the state. The number of factories you have and construction will depend on the size of your nations. You have factories are dedicated to providing consumer goods for your country, your economic law, so basically, and traded resource. And how many factories we trade for strategic goods. You can increase your number of factories by building more, but be careful since each state can only support a certain number of productive structures. A maximum of 15 factories will be devoted to a construction project, and any left over will be sent to the next queue. Okay. Three types of categories. Three types of categories for structures you can build within the civilian. Okay, so there's infrastructure, which can make it easy. Easier to supply units. There's airfields. Basically housing airfields. There's anti-aircraft, which defends the state, and then there's also radio station, which helps attack enemies. Okay. And there's shared structures. So there's military, which obviously produce those. Civilian factories, which help improve the nation and naval capacity. So that which produce oil, rubber, especially useful in nations that lacked either. Alright, seems good. Alright. So those build ships, those build rockets, and we also are able to nuke people. I like this game. I like being able to nuke people. I hope I can nuke people. Okay, so assistance in overseas supplies, harden the defense of the units. It provides the production. Okay, so production is the next one. That's this one. And that just shows what we're producing, I guess. Alright, so this is where you assign military factories and dock works to build equipment, armies, vehicles. The more factories you are dedicated. The more factories, I was just reading this. It's like, so the more factories you're dedicated, the more you will produce infantry, armory, and artillery. With these, then you design the appropriate military divisions and construction, and then upgrading for the troops in the battlefield. Airplanes you produce will also be deposited into the reserve pool. Naval units will automatically be placed in ports, though you can assign them if one of you rather. Factories output is dependent on availability of strategic resources for higher end units and on efficiency cap of your industry. New production lines will take time to be perfectly efficient, and if you add factories to a production line, you lose some of that efficiency. You can raise factory production and efficiency in the industry. Okay. Recruitment and deployment. So basically, the gray button and deployment, the army planner. This is where you decide on the types of divisions you want to train. These divisions will be filled and equipped, and vehicles you build in the production line. You can see the complete hovering over their progress bar. Okay, you can see you start with the default division. You can build. You can spend army experience to design new division templates or edit ones that already exist. The game starts with reinforcements and upgrades given equal with the creation of new units. If you would rather focus on energy of new tanks and artillery on fresh units instead of trickling equipment to the field. You can send your reinforcement priority on this. So basically, like, you would set it lower so that way you don't need the reinforcement, but you'd have better technology. Okay, so then logistics is the last one, pen and paper. This menu gives you an overall summary of your stockpile equipment. Whatever shortages you might have are also a rundown. So this is a place where you find out what you need. Okay, so controlling your army. So basically select them with the left mouse button, and then you draw them, and then you can move troops across the ocean to friendly territory by starting the units in a province with a naval port and then clicking their destination. Oh, so that's how it works. Okay, so that's pretty self-explanatory. Your forces are more effective when they are grouped into an army under a general command and given plans to execute. Alright, so creating. Dang, that's a lot to say. Okay, so you can create armies of units by selecting a group of them and then clicking on the. I have no idea what that. Silhouetted portrait or green plus sign that you will see at the bottom of the screen. Then you go and select the unit's profile, and this will open up your generals list of. Wait, this will open up your list of generals, and you can assign them to the army. There are two types of military generals, who can effectively command a maximum of 24 units, and field marshals, who have no limited amount of units they can command. Generals may also have attributes and give bonuses to certain commands. If you run a general to a field marshal, they lose their ability. Okay, so experience and giving orders. So you will gain army experience mostly through combat, but you can start a trickle of early experiences by having your soldiers exercise. To do this, select blah blah and have them exercise. You can spend experience points to promote generals, giving them ability to have greater command of troops and great divisions. So an army group can be commanded like any other group of units and simply giving right click in the destination. However, they fight better if you have given them battle plans. A general that is coordinated along the front is either defend or serve. When you select an army group, you can select a roll general orders, and each of these will roll over text and explain in how detailed do. This is the guide. Focus is most important. So naval invasions use this for amphibious attacks on enemy territory. So basically, when you select a naval invasion, you will be asked to left click on the origins point. This is where your army will gather for the assault. Right click on the enemy province you want to invade. Notice that you will need to have some naval intelligence of every sea land you will be crossing. So you will have to have some warships controlling or patrolling. Okay, so all plans that take time, and amphibious invasions take a lot of time to plan. Once the weeks or months of preparations are ready, the gray area above your army will turn a fade green. Press that and activate the plan. Dang, this is a lot. It's a lot. Alright, so land operations. To make a land plan for an offensive operation, you must first define your defensive fronts. This is the point from which your army will begin the operation. Select the defensive front button and on the map, draw a line to indicate. Just a second. I need to do something quick. There we go. That should be better. Okay, so draw a line to indicate. Where was I? I forgot now. Yes. Indicate where your army group will start, and in most cases. Then click the offensive front button and draw the offensive front army advance. Okay. So the army group units will begin to organize themselves along their defensive patterns, or their defensive fronts. When this is placed and ready to begin, hit the green arrow and execute the plan. You can research doctrines to hire advisors that will reduce the time for military plans to be prepared. That sounds cool. Alright, so controlling navies. Alright, your ships will automatically be grouped and as they're constructed. If you do not like the way that they're organized, you can drag and drop them. Assign commanders to your fleet and click on the blah. You can spend political power to recruit new admirals for your fleet. Like admirals, and all that stuff. Admirals is pretty much the same thing. If you select a fleet and see a row of different orders, these range from simple patrol missions to convoy escort duty. Choose a mission for your fleet, submarine, right click on 3, continue as zones, i.e. sea zones that touch each other. This fleet will then carry out the mission, and you can remove these orders by returning the fleet to the port and sending a new mission. So long as you have a fleet in the red zone, you understood that enough intelligence to roll through routes and blah blah previous missions. So controlling the Air Force. Unlike other units, airplanes that you are constructing are sent to a reserve hangar. You can mobilize them by clicking on the airfield, then the create new air wing button to the upper right of the menu. The higher the airfield, the more planes it can effectively use. Okay, so like naval units, air units operate over regions and are more given specific missions relative to the types of aircraft. Fighters can do some air superiority, interceptions. Strategic bombers can target those. Tactical bombers can do some support of the land attack, and so on. To assign an air wing to the region, just click on the marsh and blah blah, and it'll give you the information. Okay. So left click on the army wing, and then right click on the region that you want it to operate. Once it's airborne, you can decide the mission, and planes have limited range depending on their type. Alright, and the design. Okay, so supply. Supply is important, probably. Okay, supply. Armies in the field will require supplies to remain in fighting shape. An army out of supplies can take no offensive action at all, including supply limits, even if it's unopposed. Supply is determined by the tactical basis, potentially larger than a single state, where every territory is available to support a specific number of troops. However, the final value of this supply to the actual number is modified by the infrastructure of the state. And if a territory can support 10 units easily, but your army is in a province a low or damaged infrastructure supply bottleneck will develop. So now, not every troop in the army will get what it needs. Alright, supplies coming over land are also provided by adjacent territories, which form a supply line that line back to the capital, or an addition or alternative territory. If the capital territory is not in control, this is why it's important to maintain and defend contiguous states between home and front lines. When the wait, it's not in your control. Wait, if it doesn't give you a consequence. When the land pass or unavailable supplies will transfer via sea, and so they'll transfer via sea, Douglas tunnel, and that's cool. You can check the stuff in the main list. So special, if you research and build a nuclear reactor, you'll slowly acquire atomic weapons. You can deploy atomic weapons. You must have complete air supremacy over the target states. Select the state you want to attack and press the nuclear strike icon and lower to the left. Atomic gun will greatly weaken the infrastructure and industry of the target and damage any units in that area. If you build rocket sites, you can launch rockets in distant states and damage their infrastructure. Winning the war. Once a country has reached a breaking point, based on their national unity, it will sue for peace. The peace conference produces in stages based on the war effort expending by the victory points. So, if the Allies defeat Germany and the United States achieves most in the war, it will have the first chance to make demands on the Germans. Then the most significant victor will make his demands. This continues until the victors are satisfied with the peace and no nations can afford to make any additional demands on the defeated power. War demands have a cost, and it's cost deducted from the war score and internations. So, tips to getting started. You'll start the game with few so this is basically what we need to start with. Okay, so you will start with the game. We start the game with a few production lines of weapons already active. The most important of these will be your infantry. So until you have more military factories, you put most of your energy here. Okay, when you train, so when you're training new units, have multiple lines of infantry going on. So if you do not, you will fall behind the army size. Plan out your national focus early in the game. If you're Germany, you will want to move fast along the lines that you get claims on Austria and Czechoslovakia. The USA will need to get itself out of the Great Depression. France has to watch its political stability, have a long-term goal in mind. Okay. So each nation have access to research points, and this will help you to identify the beaker's name. The sooner you unlock it, the better your army will be. Okay. So when you're researching, try not to rush too far ahead of you, since there are significant penalties to pursuing technology too early in the timeline. However, if you research computing in electrical engineering track, you can reduce your total research time by a hefty margin. If a powerful navy is not central to your war plans, you can usually ignore this aspect of the war entry. However, convoys are always useful for trade, so wherever they are, you dot force. If you are not yet in war, let your troops exercise so you can train and earn experience, adding them to the grade and support support an existing blah blah is easy way to beef up your forces and if your equipment and in reinforcements. Okay. Wartime is often better to let your new equipment fall in the hands of new units instead of reinforcing the upgraded old ones. Adjusting the reinforcements and upgrading of your troops with an eye to do what you need, more active units on the field, a stronger punch. Democracies should choose their economic law as soon as possible can as they can in order to free up some civilian and whatever to produce more civilians. Do not forget to rest your armies once they have reached their objective. A few days of inactivity will help them organize and resupply and all that. Okay, so and that was the wiki. That was the entire wiki. So now it is time to actually start and see what I can do, I guess. So Francis here. Alright, so you are in charge of Italy and blah blah blah. I already read this. Start by dealing with the alert at the top of the screen. I read the beginner's guide. Okay, is that the this is the production line screen. Is that this one? Alright, this is the production line screen. Produces equipment needed for the war effort, and it's blah blah blah. Produces both, so those are military. So these are military factories, and the ladder, and those naval production line. The faster you produce equipment you need, the production line can be created by clicking one of the 4 highlight buttons to the left. Once you have selected an equipment, you type from one of those 4 categories. A production line will be created for that equipment type. Read the next page of this hint to see any recommendations and production. Okay. I already read it. I already read the entire thing. So supply equipment. So in the image below, you can see that the equipment line with the 10 factories assigned to it. Yeah, I can see that. So that's how many factories are devoted to those things. So we probably want that definitely to start out. We also definitely want those. We probably want a bunch of these, if you ask me. Yeah, so and then we probably want tanks. But I don't got the supplies, so we're gonna have to, we're gonna have to do some stuff. Can we afford this? No, we're not. Alright, let me deal with this first. Okay, so this is the research tab. You can, research any technology. Countries have different researches. Okay, so let's go ahead and, it's a good idea to research the countries that Alright, so you want to boost, so we want to, oh, I see, okay, I see. So this is military and weaponry, I guess. It's actually going to take longer to research if you're trying to research something at a time and blah blah. I have already read all this, I think. Okay, so these are air doctrines. This is industry and this is supplies. So we want to upgrade industry, I think, right? Or synthetic oil experiments. Let's go with, how much is this going to take? This will take less time. Yeah, it'll take less time, so we're going to do that. That sounds better. Yeah. Alright, and then we're also going to do that. And we're going to do this too. And then for the last one, we'll probably end up doing, what's this all about? Mobile warfare. I actually didn't read that. I should have read that. Yeah. This, that's better. I'm working on industry right now. Engineering will come next. Actually, crap, I should have done that. Yeah, well, actually, yeah, let's do that. I mean, that sounds much better. In the long run, that will be better. The same. It's 2% less. Alright. We got all that now. Now time to do with... Oh, we are at war with Ethiopia. Okay. So, this is war, and it shows you how a war is progressing. Italy starts a war with Ethiopia, but you do not have to worry about that right now. Proceed to look at the other alerts. Okay. Let's see what... How we doing in that? That's my question. Looks like we can win easily. You ask me, but that's just me. Alright, and then alright, next one. So, alright, this is the construction menu, and we can develop stuff, and it is suggested that you build civilian for a couple years before you start building. Alright, of the specific. By building civilian factories, you will be able to construct more buildings in the long term. All civilian buildings will be free to construct new buildings according to their construction queue. Alright, highlight it and click. So you want to basically start out by building civilian buildings everywhere. And that's why I'm getting rid of this. Yeah, there we go. There we go, perfect. I don't have... Oh, do I have Italy? Or this place? I had no idea I had this place. Why not? There we go. I had no idea. I didn't know they had this place. Liberia, I believe it's called. Something like that. Something like that. Alright, what's next? Free military factory. Okay, so... Production line produces equipment for new war effort. I recommended that both equipments you will need that you might find in the future. There are two types, blah, I know that. And as production line, you can see recommendations. So, below is that. Let me just go ahead and, I guess I can't do that. I guess I can do that though. But I don't have the correct materials. I guess I can get a dock, so we probably want this. Right? There we go, I guess. That'll be good enough. 1.5. I don't know how they're doing half, but need national focus. Holy crap. Now, this is the national focus screen. Select goals, blah blah. So I think they're telling me they want me to do this. I think that's what they're telling me. Alright. There we go. Guess I'm starting that. No divisions. Okay, so this is the recruitment tab and deployment. This is what you queue next in the division and blah blah. You recommend that you add division back to the queue. There we go. Divisions of the first attempt, blah blah blah, and then hit train and add a new division. Is that... Oh, no, I didn't mean to do that. Why is that pointer still there? Wait, what does it want me to do? Alright, and then it wants... Okay, so good, now that... Whoa. Now that we're some sort of... You can divide in details about waging war. It should not be that difficult, but win the war, you learn how to do it. Okay. Where's that? So they want me to find and do it's like the entire state. I don't know where that is though. That's Lombardia. Down here. But I can't do it here. Why can't I do it here? I should be able to do it here, shouldn't I? This is diplomacy. Yes, I know it's diplomacy. Alright, 14 division in, alright, so change location, and then, good, now that you're alert, you can start, still wage war, select, start war, okay, so, is that right? Oh, there we go. Alright, great. Now you start like a plan. Start a planning offensive. Divisions can join together in an army. An army is used to draw battle plans in the sun. Okay, so yes, I think that's right. How do I do battle plans now, though? I'm looking for the battle plans. That's not what I want. I want to do strategic redevelopment. How can I get this to work? So I want these guys to have. Alright. So yes, front lines. There we go. Now I created the front lines. Now what am I doing? Good. A front line now exists towards Ethiopia in order to get the rest of the troops to attack. So there we go. Very simple. And you must first also draw an offensive order. How do I draw an offensive order? Is that offensive order? Is that offensive order? I don't know. I think it's an offensive order, right? Is that not an offensive order? There we go. I figured it out. So this is what's gonna happen. Okay, so you can now create an offensive order to attack the Opian capital. And create an offensive order, but before you go ahead and get that order executed, you may wisely want to make your extra preparations. Alright, if you allow your troops to prepare for 25 more days, you will receive a counter bonus to your language deterrence and blah blah and how fast you reach your maximum. It's also advisable that you prepare your air forces well. So click on the air force. There's no Air Force base though. I don't see an Air Force. I don't see an Air Force. Okay, so I guess just let me see my Air Force. Is that not it? No, this is the construction. I know it's the construction. Alright, so it's saying that's in here. It's saying that's right here. Oh, that's weird. I'm not reading this correctly, am I? Alright, let me see here. Alright. But it's wise if you wait. It is advisable that you prepare your Air Force as well. Click the air base in Alright, that doesn't even show where it was. Okay, good. In order for your troops to have high or guarantee of success in battle, you can also give them the proper air support they may require. Um, Air wings assigned to the new regions can, for instance, mission support and close air support, which will enable you to join land combats. Assign blah blah base. So assign the new wing base. Right click. So assign all. Did I do it? Yeah, good. Now you have a. Right, now you got an Air Force. Air wing assigned in Africa. Before you start doing anything, however, you must first give your air wing a mission. If the air wing does not have an active mission, it will stay in base. There are a number of different missions in the Air Force you can send depending on the type of support missions, which will enable you to do close combat. Okay, so there we go. I give them all close support. And there's also naval strike and yeah, there's all those. Alright, good. Now with almost everything set up, it is time to look and execute and conquer Ethiopia for Italy. Alright, so click on the default map button click the default map mode button in the bottom right of the screen. And yeah. What's that all about? Alright, it's good. Now you have almost everything set up. It's done. Okay. Wait, am I starting it? Okay, good. Click execute plan. Oh, that button. Okay. Let's go. Execute plan. Yeah, am I executing the plan? Is it Alton that's doing this, I think? Alright. Oh dang, I can't tell what's happening. Oh dang, look at that. Are they all going? Looks like they're all going. Oh, who is winning? Should I speed it up? I think I should speed it up. Yeah, I didn't know about research. They're teaching me war! Yay! Yeah, they make a rush for it. That's the front lines, obviously. 14 Division 1. Sufficient resources. I like how the plane's just flying around. How long is this battle going for? Dang, this long battle. The same. What's this all about? Oh, cool. Hang on, I wanna see this. Let's see this quick. We are currently losing. How are we currently losing? We got more troops in them. It's not possible. Probably because we don't have a command. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, sure. That'll work. There. That works. These guys are winning though. Oh, it's hard to say who's winning. Oh, I think we're winning now. Are we winning? No, we're still losing. How are we losing? I don't understand how we're losing. That's strange. If these guys win, I'll have them regroup. Dang, it's gotta be because we have more reinforcements. Fleet interactive. Dang it, they're losing. Watch, I'm gonna lose I'm gonna fail the tutorial. Somehow I'm gonna fail the tutorial. It's because they got more troops than me. That's gotta be it. Oh, my guy's fucked up. Get fucked up. Oh, what are you doing? Stop it. You're killing yourself right now. Why are you killing yourself? It doesn't make any sense. Oh, there we are now. Hang on, let me... Oh, that's cool. Look at the map is going that way. Yeah, if we take the capital, we win. That's cool. The way that they have it automatically changing. Let's go ahead and where is it? And let's go ahead and make them do an offensive. And let me give them another. Let me promote this guy. And go ahead and execute the mission. Right? Execute the mission. You're gonna execute it. There we go. You guys can go ahead now. If you're gonna execute it. Alright, let's see if this is gonna work. I like how that's still not like. Oh, it looks like we won. Alright, remilitarize of the. Oh, we got that. Yeah, let's go there. Gotta go there. Alright, let's see what's gonna happen. What the heck is that? Okay, Ethiopia has surrendered. You have won. Okay, you can now make demands during the peace conference. We recommend that you choose take all states. Yes, each demand you make will increase the world tension by a certain amount. The higher the tension is, the closer you are to a world war. Some countries have certain diplomatic actions locked until world attention is high enough. Okay. How do I take all? Take all. End. Defeated. Did I win? Did I make my demands? Oh dang, I took all. Take one state, Ethiopia has been annexed. Alright, cool, I got Ethiopia. Oh crap. I forgot that was on super fast. Okay. Here we go. Got that. I got that. You are victorious. The war is over. Ethiopia has been defeated. During times of peace, you want to transfer across and redeploy them in different areas, perhaps to prepare for war. Now that Ethiopia has been defeated, you don't have to have so many divisions there. Select 4 divisions and move them to the highlighted port. Oh, I see. Alright, that's 4 divisions, right? Right. There we go. Minimize. Alright, there we go. Come on. Everyone get there. Is that more than 4 divisions? That's gotta be. And, okay, so transit to, alright, so. How do I do that? Select, oh, I have to select the port. So if I select the port, can I now just, is that how it works? That's not how it works. Okay. Okay, so if I select the standing port, okay, this is the fleet interface. You can do missions and blah blah. Okay, are they there yet though? There's no reason to have so many, I guess. I'm at the place though. How do I get them? Patrol, search and destroy, convoy raid, convoy escort. I think I want that convoy escort, right? Now, do I just like, oh, that's how it works, okay. I see how this works now. Okay, and I've completed the tutorial. And you can continue playing natively if you wish, and some difficulties. Okay. So that was the that's just how you play the game. I guess this is a tutorial of how to play. Yeah. Other than that, thanks again for watching. I'm gonna end this episode here. Well, I'm gonna end this tutorial here because this will probably be a tutorial video. So other than that, thanks again for watching, and adios, and have a great day. And if you liked this video, please like and comment, maybe subscribe my channel for more videos on these. On that, thanks again, and adios.